I wanna transition into picks 2 through 5. You take a look at what what Ziggy has. If you're just joining us, we have Ziggy, the man behind Women's Hoops Masterclass. He's done an entire 3-round mock. This is the second mock he's done. The first one he did was way back at the end of August, right? End of August,
right. Summertime, yep.
Around the summertime. So we just saw the Iowa fam going to Dallas. Looking at this 2 through 5, you have Olivia Miles at 2, AZ Foot at 3, Flau'jae Johnson at 4, and Tania Latson at 5. And the reason why I have the title card Zig as Olivia Miles to Minnesota is, and this is a conversation that Martin and I had not too long ago on the pod, actually, maybe about a month or so ago, I believe. Martin loves Olivia Miles, and I do too. We rant and we rave about Olivia Miles all the time, every chance we get, especially as ways like her passing. In fact, when Olivia was kind of supposed to be coming out last year, right? One of the things that I tell Martin, it's like we've gotten into the Wayback Machine. Like some of the same teams who were like in the conversations for the first pick and certain players, it was like we're doing it all over again. But basically, what I've been saying to Martin is like I'm concerned, or not concerned. I don't know for sure that by the time we get to April in the draft, which at this point is 3 months away, that the Minnesota Lynx are still going to be at number 2. Like, I think Olivia Miles would be a good fit for Minnesota. Martin did kind of talk me into it. But I just think, bro, like, given their history with young players, like Soaries doesn't play young players well. So it's often. And we saw them play in the WNBA Finals in 2024 and then make pretty much no changes to their roster going into 2020. Like, their biggest change they made was going out and trading for Dejanay Carrington, really, kind of in the second half of the season. So my question for you is, let's just assume Minnesota does keep their pick. Right. Obviously, you think they're going to go with Olivia Miles. Why? And then can you kind of just like walk us through, and I'll put the mock draft back on the screen. Can you just walk us through how you've gone now from Olivia to AZ and then to Flau'jae and Tania? Because it almost feels like taboo to most people, again, stateside with what we know, like you said, everyone's in our face, like to have a player like AZ Fudd, who everyone thinks should be number 1, going number 3 to Seattle. Like, what is the separation for you between Olivia Miles and AZ Fudd?
So here's my thing. I think in the WNBA right now, there's a shortage of true point guard. There's a lot of combo, right? There's a lot of dynamic guard who are playing point guard de facto or not true point guards.
Yeah.
So
one of them's on Minnesota, Courtney Williams.
There you go. Courtney is more of a combo guard. She can play at the pitch. Even Tisha Heidemann is not necessarily a true point guard, right? Sure. So when you have a player like Olivia Miles, in my opinion, has the potential of being generational. We all know the playmaking acumen. It's pretty ridiculous. Sometimes even if you guys watch some of the full games, sometimes she'll throw a pass and it'll become a turnover, but it's only because her teammates were not ready, but because she sees the game like 3 steps ahead, and you'll find yourself saying, yo, like, how did she even see this? right? And I think at the next level, this is a pass at a player who's playing the game at a high pace, who can process the game at a high speed, is catching that ball and can lay it up or, hit the shot. So to me, that kind of passing and also the shot making of the bounce, which was to me the most impressive thing, that she's improved coming back from her injury. Like, because we didn't see that before.
That's right.
Before her injury, she wasn't a shooter. She wasn't a shot maker. She was all drive, paint touches, and, dishing it out to her teammates. Now that she can shoot the basketball at a pretty high clip of the bounce, you're a different beast. Now, you did mention Soaries and the Lynx. Soaries not being, I'm not going to say too fond of rookies, but she's trusting more her veteran players. I think Olivia Miles will be the type of player she'll be able to take a chance on. Have her on the bench, maybe coming behind Courtney Williams, learn the ropes, and giving her, progressively some good minutes so she can become the point guard of the future for the franchise. But the reason why I have AZ slightly lower is I still have a slight level of concern when it comes to AZ Fudd, and it's her health. So she's a great offensive player, like I said. AZ Fudd, when it comes to shooting the basketball, shooting is at a premium in the game of basketball today professionally, whether it's the WNBA or the NBA. If you can shoot the basketball at a high clip, you will play at the pro level, right? Yeah. And she's an incredible shooter. Quick, great footwork, it's crisp, right? She can attack off the bounce, get to her media of the pull-up. But my thing with AZ, she hasn't been healthy every single year. Even last year, even though she had a great Final Four run, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a point in the season where she was sidelined with some kind of leg injury. They didn't really mention what it was, but she was sidelined for, I think, 1 or 2 weeks. And the WNBA level is a different beast from an athletic standpoint. from a physical standpoint, from a speed standpoint. So I'm not saying that she's going to get hurt because I don't want the UConn Mafia to come after me, right? I'm just, as a draft analyst, I'm raising a healthy dose of concern. I think it's not bad to raise that question. Is she going to be able to sustain that kind of rhythm in the W, that kind of strength, that kind of speed, right? So that's why, to me, AZ is a little bit low, which is kind of crazy because she's top 3, right?
Sure, yeah.
But to me, she's right. I think Seattle could be a good fit, and plus, they also had a couple of UConn greats, right? Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart. So now you bring another UConn great who won the national championship, who was the most outstanding player. And I'm not saying you're giving her the keys to the franchise, but you can pair her with a young Dominique Malonga, and you have 2 big-time players for the future, right? One dominant perimeter player and one dominant future post player.
Yeah, you just talked me into that whole scenario, especially from a basketball standpoint. I mean, when Marcus said I kind of talked him into the idea of live to Minnesota, it was, and I think I agree with what you said, Zig. I feel like Olivia Miles is the end of. People know who I'm biased. I mean, I'm an Olivia Miles fan, but I think she can be an exception to what we feel like is the Cheryl Reeve kind of young person rookie rule. Like I feel like she is potentially generational. I don't see how even someone like Cheryl Reeve could deny that and want to pass up on that. Olivia injects a whole new just energy and life into the way she plays, right? She becomes a force multiplier, an energy adder. The way she plays will infuse in them new life, which they may need, especially with Fee coming off this injury. They're gonna need some new life. And I think the AZ possibility to Minnesota, I still find interesting because just how we talk about Liv being able to learn the ropes from Courtney Williams. Imagine AZ being able to learn the ropes from Kayla McBride. Imagine if they want that kind of firepower on their side where we're like, you know what? Let's get another Kayla McBride in here and up our shooting ante. But I think the Liv move is sounding like more and more sense. And AZ to Seattle with Dom with that's sounding that's feeling pretty right to me now.
I'm more bought on into the AZ to Seattle scenario. And as far as Flaugier at 4 or 5 might change too, because of another prospect that we might mention, which is also from France, called Nell Ngloma. Nell was 6 on my mock draft. The way she's been playing right now, to me, there's no way that Nell Ngloma is not going at least top 4. I'm going to explain why. I have Flaugier at 4 because obviously we've had a big sample size of what Flaugier can do as a shooting guard, especially last season. This year, she's battling some minor ankle injuries. That's why I'm really not worried about some of the performances that she had. She went scoreless against Vanderbilt, and everybody on the internet was saying, "Oh, the draft stock." I'm like, no, it's not how it works. it's not how it works, right? It's not because you have one bad game that now your draft stock is going to plummet. No. And she came back and had 25 points the very next game against Georgia. My thing with Flaugier, I think she's a very dynamic scorer. She's a really good athlete, good two-way player, right? Can lock up. Her shooting has improved incredibly. The starting the season, she was shooting 50% from 3, right? So going into the league, she's not going to be a main ball handler, but you can use her as an off-ball guard. We've seen it when LSU still had Angel Reese, Anissa Morrow, and those were the main scorer. Flaugier was relegated to the role of two-way player and catch-and-shoot player, and every once in a while she'll be able to take over the offense. So I think she can come in the league and have that kind of role, right? Playing in Washington would have been good for her, alongside Georgia Amore, Sonny Citron, Kiki Iriafen, and Shakira Austin, right? You put her at that small forward role, off-ball guard, who thrives in transition, catch and shoot, can play defense, so your best perimeter player. I think it's a role that can fit her well. But because Ngloma is rising, Flaugier might drop at number 5 and be reunited with Angel Reese, and I know a lot of fans want to see that. A lot of fans want to see that, and that'll be cool. I'm sure the Chicago Sky are looking at this possibility. But going to Ngloma, she's also 19-year-old, leading the French league in scoring at 19-year-old. I didn't see that coming. This past summer, she was playing in the under-19 team for France. She had a great tournament, great games against France, against Australia. And I also mentioned in my stock watch that she might rise to first round status, but I didn't see her rising to lottery pick status. But long and behold, she's destroying everybody in the French league.
Wow.
She's 6'1", incredible physical frame. She's nicely built, broad shoulders, strong, very strong. She's an aggressive driver. And the crazy thing about it, again, leading France in scoring at 18 points per game, she doesn't have a true jump shot yet. And that's the scary part about it. So whoever is drafting her right now, to me, she has to go top 4. I think you can put her in that position that I spoke about, Flaugier. Put her in Washington, and you have a very athletic front court with her, Kiki, and Shakira, and you still develop her jump shot, and now she becomes a monster. Now that means that Tanaya Latson will go down to 6th or 5th. It's going to depend on what Chicago wants. But my only thing with Tanaya Latson, I'm a little bit concerned with the shooting. She improved last year when she was at Florida State, but she hasn't shot a lot of threes this season at South Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that has been required from the South Carolina staff. She likes to drive. She's an aggressive driver. I compare her to Dwayne Wade. But to me, my only comparison for Tanaya Latson is the young Dwayne Wade, because the way she just dropped that shoulder, explodes to the rim, the hang time, just being able to finish around everybody. She really reminds me of a young D Wade.
Yeah.
But she's going to need to shoot that basketball for her to be efficient at the next level, because some of the layups she's making, some of the drives she's capable of to make in college, she's going to run into walls in the WNBA level. They're going to force her to shoot that basketball. So I'm wondering what's the mindset behind it, why she's not taking as many jump shots, because last year she took a lot more shots for Florida State. But again, that position is going to be a matter of preference. Who is Chicago going to like more, right? Are they going to like Flaugier more? Going to like her more? But either or, you can go either way. But Nell Ngloma from Montpellier in France, lottery pick. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Wow.